Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Close Show. As always, I'm your host, Scott Carson. Excited to be here. It is a Thursday morning here in the office. A little overcast out here on a Thursday afternoon, or Thursday morning, I should say. It's not really afternoon yet, but it's been a busy week. We've had quite a few guests on the show this week so far, kind of getting caught up on some episodes from not having episodes last week. Well, I was out at the here in Austin at the New Media Summit, put in by Steve Olsher. And, I've always been very focused on sticking in my lane, right? Sticking in the lane that you're in, because that's the most important thing. Don't worry about what other people are doing, the keeping up to the Joneses, or I've never had that mentality. I'm always like, look, you're not walking in my shoes. And, I went to the New Media Summit. It was kind of an interesting way to learn about an event. Steve Olsher, who runs Beyond Eight Figures podcast and Reinvention Radio, and also the author of the book, What Is Your What, which I highly recommend. I'm in the process of reading it right now, but reached out to me when I was in Vegas for our Note Boardroom coaching event. I suddenly get this message to me, hey, asked me if I would be interested in going to this event and being an icon of influence. I'm like, what's an icon of influence? And I'm sure he was probably chuckling there, but he sent me a link. I looked into it, and it was taking place here in Austin, it was nice when you have an event here in Austin. And I looked into it. I was like, yeah, sure. It's not technically, they don't call it a podcasting event, although it really is a podcasting event. Excuse me. And I was like, well, if it's in my hometown, I'll be back in Austin. Why not? Let's go to it. So I agreed to, and of course, I was out in Orlando. We wrapped up a wedding with our friends, which Steph did an amazing job, and flew to Austin on a Monday and ran around like a chicken with my head cut off all day Monday, getting stuff done here in the afternoon, and then settled in the hotel and showed up Tuesday morning to it. And I didn't know what to expect. I knew there's probably about 200 people at it. I knew I was one of about 40 or 50 other icons of influence. I still was trying to figure out what an icon is. And what Steve says, somebody who's an icon in kind of their niche or their podcast, somebody who's made a name for themselves. And I guess, okay, that kind of qualifies me for a little bit. Considering the fact that I was uninvited from a large real estate investment club meeting in Orlando the previous Wednesday night, which is kind of funny because I didn't want a guru there. And I was just really Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was just a really great time. Steve runs this event. It's a little bit different than most events. I think it's really one of the better events if you're a podcaster, especially if you're a brand new podcaster to go to or looking to get booked on podcasts, because that's one of the things he guarantees, that you'll get booked on podcasts by being there. And one of the most unique things he does is he rotates the icons, the 40 or 50 of us that were icons there. All have been podcasting for a while. Some have millions of downloads. Some have, a very smaller niche, but they've been doing it consistently for a while. I think it's the big word there is consistency. And Steve basically had us icons get up on stage 8 at a time on the chairs, kind of like an American Idol thing. And the people that were there as attendees had to pitch to us either their show, they bring us their show or their podcast, trying to get booked on shows. It was interesting hearing all these pitches. And the first day, it was unique. I liked the way he did it. I actually picked up some things that I think we're going to do in the next mastermind, because that's one thing I always like to learn and take nuggets away. But that was one of the unique things. So over 3 days between content and some speakers and Steve sharing some stuff and doing some coaching, he had all 150 members, the attendees, get up and pitch. If they wanted to pitch, they got to pitch. But he did it with a live stream. He live streamed out the event, opened it up for everybody, and people had to pitch in front of the camera, in front of the bright lights. And then when they finished their pitch, they had 2 minutes for a pitch, total pitch and feedback. So if you took longer than 2 minutes, he pulled the hook on you. And some people rattled on. That was one of the greatest things I took away from that while listening to pitches is you need to know what you're talking about. You need to know what your thing is. You need to have your elevator pitch down, which I think a lot of us all know as real estate investors. You got to have your pitch down. And I see Laura Blunk on there. He says, good morning. I knew you would bring us the nuggets. Not chicken nuggets, New Media Summit nuggets. It was just great hanging out with so many interesting people. And honestly, I was in the minority there. Actually, Steve, at the end of the first day, I walked up to Steve and said, "Oh, this is a pretty good event." And I've been to a lot of conferences, put on events and many 3-day things. And he goes, "Man, I'm sorry, you maybe not book a lot." He goes, "Oh, it's okay. I can always learn from other podcasters." And I was learning nuggets and tips. And one of the most overwhelming things, though, across the board is people really don't know how to market themselves. And I'm not bashing anybody. First and foremost, you guys know I'm not doing that. But a lot of people struggle with telling what their what is, or telling what exactly they're focused on. Because there were some people giving pitches that would rattle this way to that. They had this long story, and they as we like to joke, they were on a NASCAR circuit. Their story was taking a lot of left turns. Okay, a lot of left turns. But some people had their pitch really down, which is really great. And so they finished up in a minute. As they were giving their pitch, if the icons liked the show idea or like what they're talking about, the icon could turn around in their chair and book. And then us icons that were on stage would give feedback. Oh, we like this, or we didn't like this. And sometimes not any of the icons turned around because it just wasn't a fit. Remember, we're rotating in us throughout the 3 days, and I turned around a little bit. There were some people that had some real estate stuff, or they had some kind of, investing things that I think will be that we can incorporate into our podcast here, the Note Closer Show, or into Note Night in America, or into our Note Mastermind group for everybody, or into Note Camp. And the biggest thing what's funny is you guys would probably figure out, I'm a comedian sometimes and joking around, stuff like that. And then I got up there, or day 2, as us icons are leaving, he goes, "Okay, we're going to turn the tables now. We're going to make the icons pitch," because we didn't have to pitch. Not all the icons had to pitch because we're already there. And sure enough, I'd made a few comments on my panel up there when I was on stage. And so, "Okay, Scott, you're going to go first." And I started laughing. And the funny thing is, I had been preparing. When Monday rolled around, I saw the people pitch. I was like, I might have to pitch. I don't know. I haven't pitched in a while. So I prepped a little bit Monday night with what I would say, and I still didn't have it down. I was stuttering to myself in my room, and I wasn't feeling good. I could feel the cold starting to come on, but because when we end at 7:00 on Tuesday night, I went up to my room, ordered room service, and tried to get some vitamin C in me, just get to feeling better from a longer 2-week period with everything. But the thing I learned the most about it is it's great to know your pitch. And when I got up and pitched, I had 2 or 3 different things I was probably going to talk about into my pitch, and I turned it down. I had the energy. I got one of the great things. Steve has had DJ Doug there. We had a DJ there the entire time. Had a lot of great music going on. I had him play a little Guns N' Roses, get me pumped up, get the crowd going. And I rolled right into it. And at 49 seconds, my pitch was done. And I think a lot of people liked it. I know I liked it. I think I killed it. A lot of people come and say I really killed my pitch, but because I've been doing it for so long. I've been doing my pitch for so long in a variety of ways. So I just summed it up and provided energy and enjoyed it. And that was one of the biggest things that people said they loved my energy throughout the 3 days. The energy is great at this place. If you're looking for an event, I would definitely check it out. The next one's going to be February in Orlando. I'll pull up and share some of the information below, the link to it. But the most overwhelming thing is there's so many different people there. And there was a lot of life coaches. There was some woo-woo. There was definitely some woo-woo at the event. But more importantly, it was a lot of great people that were going out and doing some great things. I kind of feel like I've added a family outside of the Note family that we've got. Don't get me wrong. I love Podfest. The Podfest Expo in Orlando, Chris Mostis runs that. That's a great family style event. Podcast Movement put on by Jared Easley in Philadelphia in July was a great event as well too. It's a little bit bigger, not quite as intimate, but this event here in Austin, New Media Summit, was definitely a very intimate. Everybody's at round tables, changing tables every 3 hours. Made a lot of good friends, and it was just really nice seeing a lot of stuff. So I think the biggest thing I could tell you that I saw a lot of people struggle with is their pitch. And Steve did a really great job beforehand with pre-coaching, with webinars to everybody that was coming before the event ever started. And that's one of the biggest nuggets I think I took away as well. is the fact that all the coaching that he did beforehand, that's something I could probably do a little bit better of. So that was a big nugget. Even though I didn't get a chance to make a lot of it, I did take it and watch the replays and go from there. And a funny thing is in here, Phoebe, yes, great to meet you there as well. It's great meeting you there as well. You know, I met a lot of great people. Eric Hyde, you can bash me. That's funny. I'm not going to bash you, brother. Although Stephanie did laugh about that a little bit. And no, I'm not breaking up with my Note family. My God, that's my bread and butter. And that's one thing I think I took away more so than anything else is I've said before this, you got to stay in your lane. And that was one of the things that I saw from those that struggled at the New Media Summit, were people that were trying to do too many things into one segment. All right. Or I'm this, and this. I'm going to try to tell you everything about it, and then you can book me from there. And I don't think that's effective. I think you've got to know your market. You've got to know where you're going, know who you're talking to, and hone your story or hone your pitch for wherever you're going at. And, you know, that's what I always like to tell real estate investors. If you're a jack of all trades, you're a master of none for the most part. And I think everybody would agree to that. Good morning, Christina. Is that you have to know what you're doing and know who you are. Yes. Are we doing some great things with the podcast? Yes. Great things on there. Am I a podcaster? Yes. Am I an entrepreneur? Yes. Am I a note investor? Yeah. And note investing is what I am and what I will always be. I think I'll always be the note guy with things and stuff like that. That's what I've cut my teeth on. I think that's what helped built my image to really knock some things out. But I will tell you this, you can learn a lot from other people that are doing similar things. And one of the biggest things I think not only I noticed, but a lot of the other icons noticed as we were at these round tables with people and other podcasters, other people looking at it, is a lot of people just don't know how to market. They have an idea or they have something that they're good at, but they just don't have a clue how to market and get their word out. And you could have the best life-saving skill, but if you don't know how to get the word out to your tribe or to your audience or to your clients or to your potential customers, you're going to struggle. You're going to really struggle on stuff. What did Steph say here this morning? No, Eric, I'll being anyone who bashes you, brother. Note family first. Yeah, there we go. Fist pump. There's Steph. Thanks for sharing, Steph. It's just that it's great seeing because we had quite a few of there was quite a few people doing that were entrepreneur based. They had several people had entrepreneur shows. I enjoyed it. Some people were podcast focused on stuff, and there's obviously a very growing market for podcasters or people to help podcasters get things out. And I think Steve is probably one of the better people to learn from on that. I mean, he's the host of Beyond Eight Figures. He's done some other stuff with podcasting for the last 12 years. And so I really enjoyed some of his insight to where he thinks the market is going and what's available out there for all of us, for those that are starting something or have something. I think the one thing I think everybody's got to keep in mind, everybody, and I mean this by everybody, if you are going to be self-employed or be a business owner of any sort, one thing you got to keep in mind is that basically, I don't care what you're selling, whether you're buying and selling notes, or you're buying and selling cars, or you're selling services, or you're a life coach, or you're a woo-woo coach, whatever it is, you are your own media company. You're your own HBO. You're your own Turner Networks. You're your own ABC, NBC, CBS. Unfortunately, most people are treating like they're PBS. They're doing it on a shoestring budget, and they're trying to run, those as the bare minimum to try to get that. And I think that's where a lot of people. That's where I saw a lot of people struggle. They're trying to do the bare minimum, trying to get the maximum exposure out of the bare minimum. And I don't think that's an effective tool. And don't get me wrong, I understand being bootstrapped. I understand marketing with bootstraps because there's a lot of great things you can do with marketing that are very cheap or inexpensive. It just takes time and building those things on a consistent basis to get that. Because as I've traveled over the last 6 months, definitely this year, one thing everybody keeps coming up to is, oh my gosh, you are killing it. You guys are doing a great job. We see you everywhere. You're all over the place and good stuff. And what I don't think a lot of people realize is, yeah, we are doing a lot of stuff, but we're also recycling. We're repurposing a lot of the stuff that we do on a daily basis. This podcast gets repurposed into blogs, repurposed into videos on YouTube. It's being repurposed now across 50 different networks that we just added this week. And we're uploading the videos of that to get those out there across Roku and Apple TV and a whole variety of different channels for us to have world domination, I guess you could say. I think it was what Laura Blank said. But the thing I want you guys to realize, you are all your own, like I said before, you're all your own media company, okay? And that's, you have to keep that in mind as you grow, okay? Keep that in mind as you grow. All right. Starting out, what's some of the great things that you can do to start to get your word out of what you're doing? Obviously, Facebook Lives, Facebook posts, social media is an easy thing to do. But as you grow, what's the next facet? A lot of people want to start talking or speaking a little bit more. So there's different things to do. You either get booked on podcasts, or maybe you start your own meetup group. And I know there's some people on here who attend meetup groups on a regular basis. And attending a meetup group is a whole lot different than hosting your own meetup group. Okay, when you're hosting or running a meetup group, you have to give it a good 6 to 12 months before you really finalize where you're at. Because meetup groups, if they're once a month or once a week, there's a big difference. And once a month, you have to market more. If it's once a week, it's actually easier to market more, but it takes more of your time out of the month, obviously. Okay, so if you're going to be doing meetup groups with locals in your area, and one of the great things I found, a local meetup group here locally for podcasters be going to learn tricks of trades to help us hone our skills and things and polish it, polish what we're doing here to really help us in the long run with growth. But the thing you got to keep in mind is you still have to market. You've got to market those specific events or those specific times or those groups or those calls. You have to get those out there on a regular basis. And the biggest thing is you've got to set it and schedule it, and you've got to be committed to that. You've got to be committed to getting your stuff out on a consistent basis. And by consistent, I mean at least once a month, once a week at least, okay? I love this question, Phoebe. Thank you for sharing. Phoebe's a fellow icon of influence from the New Media Summit. My questions to my clients first is, where is your audience? And then go there. Totally great stuff. I think you actually mentioned that on one of the panels, and that's an important thing. If you're a real estate or note investor, where's your audience? Is it the real estate investment meetup groups? Is it conferences? I have found a very valuable asset of what we have done over the last 2 years is leveraging the power of LinkedIn to go there for clients, to go there for investors. I had an investor yesterday contact me off of LinkedIn. Wants to put some serious money with us on some things. We're just still kind of feeling it out and talking back and forth. But Phoebe raised the point, where is your audience? And then go there. Instead of trying to be a jack of all trades in every social media site or every social media platform, figure out what's the best use of your time. Now, I'll be the first one to say we have an Instagram profile for the podcast. I have my own Instagram profile, but I don't get a lot out of it for us when it comes to real estate stuff. It's still kind of a younger demographic thing with the photos. Biggest bang for the buck is the video, our webinars, LinkedIn, and our email blasts and networking and events, like where we go up to Dallas or San Antonio for the Propelio Meetup Group, where we're networking with 900 people at an event or 500 people at an event, or I'm the MC at an event. Those are the biggest things that are the biggest bang for the buck. Okay, so looks like we've got a comment here from Steph. Let's see what she says. I think there's merit in repurposing certain content because as your audience grows, they may catch that content at different times or via different platforms. To me, there's a similar ley line from that to the rule of sales. The most sales are made after the 5th try. That's correct. Thank you, Steph. It takes humans a few rounds to absorb new information, and the same rule can apply with content. So be gentle if you're struggling with that. Hashtag Life of Note Investor Heart. All right. Yeah, good point, Steph. You've got to, like, the whole point of consistency is getting the word out to your audience. It's getting the word out on a regular basis of what you're doing. And then here's what Phoebe says, Mills. And then what channel are you best at delivering your content? Audio, video, blogging. Layer that on top of where they are and show up powerfully to serve. I love it. Thank you, Phoebe, for those 2 comments. Thanks, Stephanie, for those 2 comments. Could not agree more with you, ladies. 2 very smart women sharing stuff on the Note Closer show this morning there. That's awesome. That's the same thing. Figure out where they're at and layer it with what you're best at. Okay. What you're best at getting your pitch out, what you're best at getting your 2 minutes, your 50, your 30 seconds, or in a lot of cases, 10 to 15 seconds to make an impact. And I did something a little bit, well, I've been known to do this a little bit where I go speak. I dressed a little bit differently. You know me, guys, I'm pretty laid back. Okay. Not a big suit guy for the most part. I did put a suit on, yes, for the wedding, as I was the officiant for it and looked pretty sharp. But the thing I want to get the most, I walked in with my bright green vest on, you know, jeans, boots, white cuffs, or, you know, white dress shirt, cufflinks, and my bright green shirt to stand out from the audience because I did want to make an impact. I wanted, you know, people were not going to miss me as a big guy like that. And of course, my blue vest on the second day, my black vest on the third day, and then on the fourth day, which is probably the most valuable to me, was the mastermind day and the Friday, and hanging out with Phoebe and just a bunch of other people, 40 of us on a mastermind day where you got to spend some time, get a chance to hang out and network with a little more of the icons, a little bit more on a one-on-one basis, and talking about each other's business, biggest nuggets from the event, things that we're looking for the help with. That was probably the most valuable thing. Okay. What does Shannon say here? I agree with Stephanie. I don't know how many times I've gone to an older podcast for more information to refresh my education when I find a new question. Thanks. That's good. Good to know that, Shannon. Ed Gray Flair. No, my green vest, you know, I could have been a casino dealer, is what I joke about with some things, with a big green giant. Ho, ho, ho. We close notes. It's the best award of the Quest Expo. It's just become a calling. That's why I have 3 of those bright green vests, so I don't wear them out, so they always look fresh. But the thing is I stand out in an audience, and then when we got an intimate group, hey, just normal Scott talking with everybody. And that's why spending time at events like that and masterminding with other people that speak your language, they may just speak a different dialect. You know, all the 40 of us that were here at the Mastermind Grade are all podcasters, all been doing it for a while. All got great followings, great niches. We know our pitch, we know our audience, but it's still something great to learn from everybody as their businesses evolve, as their podcast changes. And I know a lot of people go through that. I know a lot of investors and entrepreneurs, we get busy working and kind of burning the candle at both ends sometimes between one thing we're doing, the other thing that we're doing. We often get worn out. And I think I've just hit that wall with this damn cold I got, with just being so busy with everything going on in the note business and also with the marketing stuff. But I really am excited to take some of the nuggets I learned, some of the tips and the tools from this event to help me make a bigger impact, get the word out. I won't say add new things, basically juice up what we're doing currently here. And I have got to thank Steve Olsher for putting me on the event, inviting me to the event first and foremost. Become a big fan of his and what he does. And it was just great energy with everything like that. Looks like we got some other stuff here. So Phoebe says, got to run. Have a great one. Looking forward to tuning in again. Icons got to stick together. There we go, Phoebe. I like that. It's funny. Definitely made some really good friends with 40 plus people at the event, which is it's really good to see that everybody's doing a little bit something different, but able to come together and help each other out, which is one of the great nuggets of the event. So many podcasters, so many people who can get booked, but a lot of people coming together to coach each other, to help each other out, give tips and tidbits on their business and things that they're good at. We're struggling with that to help others overcome those issues too. Brady Durr says, the Content Octagon is the best place to get started on Bootstrap budget. Please check that out to connect all the free sources before you spend a ton of monthly fees. Thank you very much, Brady Durr. You're right about that. We talked a little about that in one of the roundtables at the New Media Summit with there was about 8 of us at the table. We shared about that as well. Excuse me here. Biggest thing I can tell you guys out here, and I know I've had this conversation with a few of you before, and it's good to see some older people here. Know what you're focused on. Know what you are focused on and stick to that focus. If you're trying to do 2 things, 3 things, 4 things, 5 things, you're not going to find success as fast. And actually, you're going to burn out. And you're actually, what's unfortunate, excuse me, what's unfortunate is that you will send a mixed message and actually turn people away. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a real estate investor, you're going to be talking about real estate investing, but suddenly you're now a life coach. I want to share a life coach. Or suddenly now you're doing something else on the side. You send a mixed message, especially if it's going to your whole audience on what are you doing? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to become? Okay. You can't do that. You got to stick to what your focus is. Now, if you're going to add something, a second thing, and what I mean by a second thing, if you're working, that's your first time. If you have a JOB, that's your first thing. All right. If you're a business owner, that's your first thing. You know, what your business is. Mine's the business of notes. It's the first and foremost what we do. And I've had people say, "Oh, you're getting into marketing." I'm like, "No, I'm not getting into marketing. Marketing is what part of what we do with a note business. That's how we help expand our note business. That's how we find investors, how we find deals. That's a very important aspect of what it is. You don't see me going out marketing REOs. You don't see me going out marketing short sales. I stick to the business of what we have. Now, the second thing that we basically added, which isn't really adding, is in the last, really 2 years, is this podcast. It's this show. We started off doing 9 months almost straight every day of Facebook Lives to see if we want to do it. We built that consistency on the front end. How many of you would do a daily video, anywhere from 2 minutes to 30 minutes to an hour on Facebook Live? How many of you would do that? Now, the thing is, all of you are capable of doing that. Just how many of you do it? And it doesn't have to be a notes. Maybe you're the best basket weaver out there, or maybe you're the best cat fan, or dog fan, or bird fan, okay? Or a motivational message guy or gal, or life coach. The thing that you have to realize, more importantly, is your expertise and your icons, because we all can be icons. We are all icons in our tribe. It's a matter of whether you're sharing that information, whether you're uncovering, knocking it all off. And that's why I was telling Stephanie in Vegas when we were out there, when Steve reached out to me, and I was thinking thinking about where I wanted to take the show, where I wanted to do, where I saw myself in a year or 5 years, stuff like that. I still see myself in the note space first and foremost. It's just it's tweaking a little bit. I'll tell you that it's tweaking a little bit. I feel not a wind of change, because I think our market is part of what's going on. Is I'm constantly trying to prepare for the changes that I know are going to be taking place here in the next couple of months, and being prepared and ahead of schedule. And I'm also handling that transition to that along with our existing assets, our existing deals, existing business model and stuff like that. And I'll tell you this, we've put some stuff into play over the last 12 months that's starting to bear a little bit of fruit. Not just this podcast. We've got some other stuff that we're going to be launching here relatively shortly, hopefully before the end of the year. I was talking with my IT guys the other day on some stuff that we're really excited about, but we're still in our lane though. We're still in our lane. One of the great things about the note business is it's kind of still a small world. And I've talked to other people, and I hear other people talking about, this guy's doing this, or this guy's doing that, or this guy's going to do this now, or they're going to do this now. And I just chuckle, because that's great. Hey, if they can go out and do that, they can go out and try to add that to themselves, more power to them. I encourage them to go do that. The thing that you have to keep in mind for you guys out there listening or watching is what they're doing in their lane should not affect what you're doing in yours. If you're constantly looking over in the other lane, see what everybody else is doing versus being focused on your own business, that's the first mistake you're making. They've already won. When they've got your attention. What I mean by that, look, if you are so worried what everybody else is doing, you're going to miss stuff that's going on in your business. You're going to not be as focused on what you need to do. I don't worry what about everybody else does. Okay, I've been around this long enough. I might be in a leadership position, lead dog, maybe, but I don't sit still. I'm not sitting still trying just to focus on where we're at and stick where we're at. Because the minute I do that, oh my gosh, we're behind. Technology, social media, marketing, all that stuff, we're technically behind. Don't be wrong. We've had a bit of a hiccup with a couple of things, some staff changes and getting equating with our new staff and getting everything rock and roll with that. That's a normal hiccup on the road. That's going to happen every year with things. What you have to do is realize, don't get so bogged down when hiccups happen, because hiccups happen in all of our businesses. Everybody know that happens, whether, especially if those of you that are working still, yeah, you may be working overtime this week, so you spend less time on your business this week. That's a hiccup, okay? You may not get a chance to make as many offers this week because you're working more, or you got to work on a project at work. I see that happen all the time. Or people who were laid off and were going to be doing notes full time, but they didn't focus on it, and now they had to go back to work, take a job. That's a big distraction, big hiccup in their real estate investment when they've got to go back to work. They have to take a job. All right. Now they're behind the 8 ball. And the best advice I can give you is just do what you can do. Do the best that you can do. Okay. But don't stay in your comfort zone. Keep pushing the envelope with what you're focused on. That's how you grow as an individual. That's how you grow as an entrepreneur. That's how you grow as an investor, is to keep pushing the envelope and getting beyond. If you're comfortable in where you're at, you're probably not doing enough. You're probably not reaching your full potential. Eric Hyde says something here. So true. Stay in your own lane and don't worry about someone else's lane. That's a good one to remember. I catch myself comparing myself to others sometimes. I agree, Eric. It's easy to do, and you're doing a great job of juggling being a police officer and being a note investor. But I also know, based on our conversations too, that you're looking more to speak more, or to share more about what's going on. That's adding a whole second layer to what you're doing, and you just got to make sure make sure that work is doing well, and that you don't miss out on making your offers and stuff like that. But congratulations, Derek. I think you closed on your largest trade yet just a couple days ago. Very proud of you. Congratulations. Look forward to hearing more about it, and we'll go from there. Steph says, do something every day that scares you, or try to. Yes, that is a good thing. I wouldn't necessarily say scares you, but pushes you to go to the next level. Maybe it's not every day, but at least once a week and once a month. And I see so many people that get so scared of the unknown. And it reminds me of that Star Trek episode. I don't remember what it was. The Undiscovered Country, where Spock and his brother steals the Enterprise or kidnaps the people in Enterprise, and they're going to the end where they think they're going to go meet God, and they go through this wall, this magnetic field, this cloud, and their sensors can't get through, and they're scared to go through it, and they just push their way through it. And then once they go into it, there's nothing behind it. It's wide open space. It was all this fear in the front end. That's what I imagine a lot of entrepreneurs face on a regular basis, like when they're going to go speak. And I saw a lot of that at New Media. Some people getting up and pitching. They're like, oh my God, I've never had to do this before. Well, great. You're learning more. You're becoming more of an entrepreneur every day. The more you get out and talk to people, the more you share with what you have going on. Because so many people aren't doing anything. And I was so proud of everybody that got up and pitched at the event, that I wish I saw more of that in the Note Investment. I see a lot of people that show up to events. They show up, they keep showing up, they keep attending, but they're not growing. Okay? They're not growing as entrepreneurs. They're not doing things. They're not pitching themselves to people on a daily basis or weekly basis. And that's one of the things that I came back was a commitment to myself to get what we do out to more people, to share what we do. And we've had, what we filmed 7 episodes already this week, and it's only Thursday still. Get what we do, push ourselves here a little bit more, push my staff, push myself first and foremost, lead from the front with pushing and doing little things that make me uncomfortable. Getting back to doing a couple things too that I've probably been putting off. Okay, being focused on some stuff that I think is going to not only help us but help a lot of people out there in the long run. Let's see here. Eric says, yes, it's because I never comfortable staying put, which is awesome. Eric says, also, opportunities lie on the other side of fear. I love that quote and truly believe in it. Yeah, opportunities do lie. Opportunity lies on the other side of fear. That's so fear. What's fear? False evidence appearing real. Okay. Juliana, we got a couple police officers on this morning. It's great. Julianne Caulfield Ferraro out of, I believe, Chicago. Again, one thing I've realized is when everything is important, nothing gets done. Find a few things to focus on and don't let others distract you. That's the big things. You've heard me probably talk about the big rocks theory. What's the big rocks? Big rocks theory is really focus on your big rocks each day. And you really don't need more than probably 3 or 4 big rocks. You don't make a to-do list. All the little to-do lists, little paperwork stuff that you need to get signed. Yeah, that goes on something that you get done. But focus on your big rocks. And as people have come in and said, Scott, boy, you guys are killing it. You do just do an amazing thing with all the place. The thing is that our focus, our big rock every day is marketing. Our big rock every day is marketing for our business, marketing for our classes, marketing for this podcast, or marketing for a mastermind or something else, or assets, or raising capital. That's our biggest nugget, our biggest rock lists out there, everybody. Okay? And you guys should be doing the same thing too with your big rocks. What's your big rocks? Is it closing more deals, raising more capital? What's your big rocks? If you're not a note investor, what is your big rocks otherwise? Is it getting booked on other shows? Is it getting booked? Is it making more offers? Is it building a team? Is it finding a new market? Your big rocks. Your big rocks will guide you to success. But your pebbles, if you spend more time on the pebbles versus your big rocks, your pebbles will help you lose that focus. They'll get you distracted. They'll help you drift more. Okay? Compare this. You're driving down the road and you see a big rock. You can avoid that pretty easily. What you can a lot of times do is when you're driving down the road and suddenly you hit caliche or pebbles and you spin out of things like that. That's the best thing I can do. A big rock, you can avoid that pretty easily. A lot of pebbles, if you spend more time on your pebble roads, you're going to end up spinning out and not having success. I don't know if that analogy makes sense. I just pulled it out of my ass, but I think it has there. And Eric guys says, yes, Julian Rucker represent police officers, male, female in the house. Exactly. Steph shares something here. Good God, yes, that is true. When too many things force you to be reactive, it's hard to get in front and be proactive and then be able to create on the wavelength that actually helps you grow. It is a cycle I see a lot of. Yeah, it's a cycle she sees a lot of. And Steph is, oh my God, I'm blessed to have Steph. Steph is a powerhouse behind the scenes. She is not here on the podcast. She's not in a lot of the classes. She is very capable, though. I mean, it's why she's the co-host of Note Camp. It's why she also runs such a tight ship when it comes to our Note Mastermind group of making sure everything gets scheduled and travel. It's just a big, big powerhouse there. Just important out there. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is the most important thing that I've learned from the New Media Summit is be willing to pitch, stay in your lane, know what you're focused on, and don't be afraid to share that. Get out and share more. Take your business to new levels. Because one of the biggest things, and I'm going to leave this, I'm going to wrap up with this. It was one of the nice things that Steve asked from every one of the podcasters or the icons of influence on the last day, the Friday of them, when it was just us icons, is he made all of us go around and talk about what we wanted to share for 2019 and where our business wants to go. And I will tell you this, I've set some very big goals for where I want to see our podcast grow, where I want to see the influence of that, of the Note Closer show here, where it's going. And we've already made a big thing with us signing on some new distribution rights for the show to get it out across more channels, 50 new channels effective as of yesterday. I got excited that we brought on Rosie in Orlando too to help out with some of that. Excited what Hazel is doing, our asset manager that we brought over, who's handling a lot of the servicing and the attorneys and stuff like that. I'm proud of what Shannon is doing here in the offices with marketing and how she's doing to help promote stuff. We have some very big goals, and we want to help our clients and our Note family take their business to the next levels. And we plan on leading from the front to help you, each and every one of you, really kick it up a gear, to really, really make 2019 even a better year than what 2018 is. And with that, guys, I think that's all I've got for today. I'm still covering from this damn cold. Wish this damn thing would go away, but it's not stopped me from being here. It's not stopped me from being focused. I'm probably a bit more driven than I've been a lot. I feel I got a fire inside of me, and it was definitely rekindled and throwing some gasoline on a fire this past week with the New Media Summit. So on behalf of myself and my rest of my team, I want to thank Steve Olsher again for putting on an amazing event, New Media Summit. I'll post a link there. If you'd like to find more information about their next events, let me know. I'll be glad to send you over that information. But first and foremost, I will tell you this: we are who we are because of a couple things. One, I cannot get what get done without the people in my team. Stephanie Goodman, you're number one. That everybody else that I mentioned is great. Secondly, our clients, our family, our vendors, our Tom and Tracy Hazards, Christy and Elijah White, our Quest IRA family, our Lawfulness, it's Aaron Young, Michelle Young, just our extended network of great friends out there. We've got some big goals. We want to triple the amount of downloads in year 2 of the Note Closure Show. We want to go from 150,000 downloads to over 500,000 downloads in year 2. I think we're capable of doing that. I would love to have us have over 1 million views on all channels, whether it's Facebook Live, YouTube, Vimeo, or downloads. I have that over 1 million in year 2. Those are 2 of our biggest goals on that. Financially wise, I'll save that a little bit because I've got some stuff. I don't want to release that information here. But I'm putting the numbers through that. I'm backing my numbers out. I'm actually drawing a bigger number from what myself this next year than what I had anticipated. So, because I know I can get it done. I believe in myself, believe in what we do on a daily basis, can help not only myself, but the way we get to where we want to get with our goals is by helping our students and helping everybody else out there achieve some big goals too. So, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of the Note Closure Show, guys and gals. Thank you for sharing out there. Thank you for being a part. If you found this episode valuable, please do me a favor. If you're watching this on Facebook, share it across your platform. It'd mean a lot to me. For everybody that shares, we really appreciate it. If you love it, love listening to the show, leave a review. We'd really appreciate it. Jeff Wolf says, you're looking thinner. Keep it up. I'm looking thinner because I'm working out, but I haven't worked out this week. I feel I need to get in the gym this week, but I did make it a commitment to do it while traveling. So I got some really great workouts in Orlando in the middle of the afternoon there at Disney. But once this damn cold goes away, it'll be 2 guns blazing to the gym every day at noon. So anyway, go out, make something happen. Happy birthday to Jeff Wolf, the Wolfman. Woo! All right. Happy birthday to you, buddy. What's Steph say here? And we are also really excited about the ever-growing path to share more financial education and help others out there on a path to entrepreneurship, self-sufficiency, and life adventures. There you go. That's right. Life is an adventure. Life is a highway. All right. And the show goes on forever and the party never ends. And with that, guys, we'll see you at the top, everybody. Bye.